Recently, a company called
CZUR
reached out to us and asked if we wanted to do a review about their, let's call it, very sophisticated scanner. And after watching at the product page, I thought, wow, I did not even know that a product like this exists. So, of course, yeah. So here we are, the CZUR Aura Pro X with battery. And before we begin the review, I have no idea how to pronounce or properly pronounce the name. I've watched a couple of other people's videos and everybody's just saying CZUR. I don't know, like 5 minutes ago I was still convinced it was seizure. I'm sorry, I don't know. Wow. So this is the CZUR Aura Pro X with battery model, and what CZUR basically does as a company is produce a bunch of different book scanners or image scanners, basically very sophisticated scanners, not like your usual scanner that is just included in your printer, right, where you just put like A4 paper in it and it comes as a PDF. This is a, let's call it, high-tech device that is able to scan for example, a book and then create further documents of it with which you can continue to work on them. This model particularly got a couple of design awards. I can see we have the Design Award 2019, the Red Dot Award 2018, and some design award that I don't recognize. But to be honest, the only one that I really know is the Red Dot, but okay. This particular model has a bunch of very special features, and to quickly go over them, it is one of the portable scanners that CZUR offers. So we have a battery pack included, we can drag it around, we can place it somewhere else, and that is pretty freaking cool. But before we go over the actual features of this thing, let's just unbox this. Wow. It feels like an Apple unboxing, to be honest. Please don't fall out, please don't fall out, please don't fall out. Yes! Oh, so already one point about the unboxing. We have multiple country-specific power adapters. We have Europe. I think this is US and this is England. I'm unsure, but this is it. Once we have unboxed everything from the package, this is basically what we are left with. We have the scanner itself, to which we will get in a minute, the power cable, we've got this additional set of lights, which are conveniently just pressed on like this and held on by magnets, and I freaking love that it is magnetic. That's amazing, it looks cool. We've got these are pieces to keep the book a bit straighter, but we will get to that in a minute. We have some installation guides, which I already needed to know how to get those lights on, but it's okay. We have some more paperwork. We've got a software download instructions manual for the drivers. We got the normal manual, a CD with probably drivers, and then we've got some really cool stuff. But first off, we have the normal USB Type B to Type A cable to connect this to a PC or a Mac. Then we've got this, which is basically a mat to put your book on it or whatever you are about to scan, which could be a bit easier to unfold, to be honest. And then we got this, and I didn't know about this, but this is a like a foot button where you can connect it, and I guess when you are scanning stuff, you can, you know, with your foot, like, and I think that's amazing, and I wonder what else I can do with this, but that's for another day. If you want to actually use it, you need to unfold this, and you are ready to go, I guess. So to get over a couple of features of this particular puppy, because this is one hell of a pro version, but this is one of their more portable versions. We have the included battery, which I don't know where the battery is actually. Okay, upon further inspection of the device, I guess I was wrong. I do not have the model with the battery. There does not seem to be any battery included anywhere here actually. So no, I don't have the battery model. So I just have the normal Aura Pro non-battery model, but it's still okay. So let's go over the actual specs of this little puppy. So what these are actually used for is, for example, if you want to scan a book and you want to scan it really quickly. So this particular model can scan a page in 2 seconds, or 2 pages, basically left and right. 2 pages in 2 seconds, which is really freaking quick. If you compare that to what your usual Canon home printer can do, where putting in like 100 papers, if the tray for scanning is even big enough, but it takes forever to scan a simple page. Here, however, it is supposed to be going like this, and then you have a bunch of features which make all of that even better. For example, you have a built-in feature powered on by AI and a bunch of other keywords, which can recognize if you turn the page. So you can basically just turn one page after the other and then wait 2 seconds and the next one and the next one, and it goes really, really quick. We also have here built-in OCR, or optical character recognition, which is really freaking cool because if you know a normal scanner, my scanner here in the office, if I put in the paper, it comes out as a freaking PDF. And what the hell am I going to do with a PDF if I need to write on it? So what this does is try to scan every letter in one of 180 available languages and then create a Word document from it. So you can basically take Harry freaking Potter book, put it on here and then scan one page after the other, and then you have a whole freaking Word document where you can proceed to work on it. Then you also can do images, like any normal scanner. You can do PDFs. Images are pretty interesting if you wanna, I don't know, go to the next block's street artist, buy his painting and scan it to create an NFT and you know what people do nowadays. So all of that, although I would not recommend doing it, it is possible nowadays. Then this particular model also has a cool little feature, and that is a built-in light, which you have different modes for that light, and we will be going over the light in a second. But if you want to have a really fancy and really expensive light on your desk, here you go. For the rest, I did as much homework as I could. We can scan up to A3 papers on this thing. Yes, I mean, our whole continent is working on A4. A3 would be nice for, I don't know, images and biggest documents, but you have A3. So yeah, let's connect it and see how this puppy works. Setting up the device, especially with software, wasn't particularly complicated. It was actually pretty easy. It was just a bit odd that I needed to put in the serial number, which was underneath the device, into the installation like wizard thing. It was odd. I don't know who would use the software without buying the device. I mean, I don't think CZUR software is like cross-compatible with every scanner. So that was a bit odd. For the rest, I also downloaded already the smartphone app, which is basically, and that's so cool. So the device has 2 modes. We have scanner mode, we have the lamp mode. So right now we are in scanner mode. That's why we have the image of what I am doing right now. But if I double press the start button, it will go into lamp mode. So it will just, you know, shine light. And in this mode, I can now twist this little dongle here, which will make everything, yeah, be less or more white. That's a lamp. Then with the app we have a different lamp setting. We have natural light, we have the reading, writing lights, we have for computer use, and we have some type of smart night light. The way they implemented a connection between my phone and the lamp is really cool. Instead of Bluetooth or whatever really unnecessary connection there is nowadays, we have a bunch of microphones here, and we have this app which allows us to press one of these buttons, and as soon as I press them, it will make a sound. The microphones will recognize the sound and they will do whatever I want them to do. For example, the computer one, and it turned a bit yellowy. Then we have natural, which is yellow and white at the same time, more yellow, and the night sleep is just less bright. This is both positive and negative. Positive in a way that is a connection without any extra stuff like Bluetooth. The minus about all of this is, imagine that somebody is sleeping in the same room and you want to go into reading mode. Yeah, that's not the best idea. Then I don't know why, but in the app, the minus and plus button to make the light go more or less strong is like an increment of 1 on a scale of 1 to 100. It takes forever to see any difference. The dial is way quicker. And then of course we have the off button and the plus button. So to test how this device works, I brought an old friend of mine. It's called Moderne Betriebssystem. This is basically what happens when you go to university, and on your first day you have a professor who seemed like he already killed a bunch of people, and he tells you that you absolutely need this really expensive book and a bunch of other books. So you buy all of these really expensive books, you spend way too much money on them to never be used, not even a single time. This was the worst investment of my life. Now, after 4 or 5 years, I can, for the first time, put this book to use, which, yeah, it doesn't make it better, but having a book this thick really helps us to test another feature out of this scanner, and that's CZUR's patented, apparently, book flattening technology, which is basically just fancy word of saying that they are, or the software in here is able to flatten the curve of a book, which is really important in an example like this, where this is basically like dangling down here. Okay, so the software is ready, and I am less and less sure if all of what I'm doing right now, showing this book on the video, is even legal, but let's see. So we have that auto scan feature I talked about, where you just flip one page after 2 seconds and then keep going until the book is done. And that's exactly what I wanted to test, because although I think this is really interesting, auto is always better. So we have that little auto button down here, which, let's single page, combine page, manual selection. Oh, he's already done. Okay, yeah, okay, so it takes a couple of seconds. It's not instant, and 2 seconds were maybe a bit positive, I guess. Okay, so after scanning a bunch of pages here, we can see that the side where we have like the straight piece is really flat and it worked really well, whereas the other side, it had, yeah, it works, but it's basically just images, right? As you can see in the bottom right corner of these images, we have a bit of brown left over from the table here, so you really need to get that image, that scanner adjusted very well to the curvature put here into that black mat, and then have the book pretty much centered on all of this. And I really have to say that the scanner is kind of struggling with this really thick book I have here, and I am really unsure if I have an alternative. Yeah, let's take that old manual. Perfect. And at this point you can also use these little finger holders here to flatten the curves, and it's basically, it acts like a green screen where the software is able to cut out yellow very quick, like a green screen, and where your Premiere Pro can cut out green or whatever you use. And this is basically the same thing. It helps to very quickly at least help to flatten the curve to some degree, though in this particular case it's also not ideal because you have basically no border left on the page. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we scanned the whole little manual here, and it took like a minute and a half. And if you now go back, we will have all of these files here in our software, and we can have a look at them and see how well or not so well the images went. Here you can see the point where I moved the book while making the image, and here it is while I stopped pressing on the book. And now here we can make a bunch of file formats from that. We can export as Word or Excel, that's the OCR, the optical character recognition feature, or standard PDF or images like TIFF, and the text. Okay, why not? The only thing we cannot do is make an image, so JPEG out of it, because it is already a JPEG here saved in some random ass folder from the software itself. So we already have the JPEGs. Now let's see what happens if we take all of the files and we export it as a Word document. Holy freaking moly. So I will show you on screen how it actually looks in a real version of Word. I just have WordPad on this PC here. I'm really impressed how this scanner is able to make this into an actual Word document. So what you can very well see is on page 14 here, it starts to get gibberish. And you can see here that's due to me moving the page, and I did not delete that one page, so it kept the gibberish for the scanner, and then OCR hit in, and now you got whatever this is. So if you do something like this and scan a whole book into a Word document, you will need to double check everything later on and delete the images which are not readable at all. But from there you can see where I straightened up every page. Every time I switched it, I straightened it, and it worked really well. I do not see, from there on, I do not see a single error. So wow, I am heck of impressed about this device. And another little feature which I kind of forgot to even mention is that on the top you have a little monitor which indicates basically what's underneath. This really helps, for example, if your PC is very far away from the scanner, then you can look at it from the top and you can already see what is going on in the background. A last little feature that I would like to talk about, if I can call it feature, are these sideways pointing lights. And these are really important. Let's say, for example, you have something reflective which is on the paper and it is looking straight up. I know this from making my B-rolls, for example. You would never see a B-roll with a side window on the PC because it is reflective as hell and you will see everything except for the interior. So that's why we have these lights. So in case that something is reflective on here, we can press the little touch button and the top light will just shut off and it will start to illuminate the sheet from the sides, like straight down. Okay, so I tinkered with this scanner now for the whole day. And honestly, it's a very impressive device. It's not for everybody. Not everybody needs a book scanner, but that's essentially what it is. It is able to scan documents and books and create, by help of OCR, create actual usable documents. And that's a really great feature for somebody who needs that. Offices, companies that deal with documents that could be repurposed further going, but are in a printed format right now. So for these use cases, it's a really interesting device. For private people, I mean, if you really need it, okay, but I guess this is not something that everybody needs at home. I can only talk about how it works and how the quality is. And let's start with quality, because quality-wise, this thing is on point. The packaging is really impressive, or it was really impressive. Everything was neatly packaged, it worked perfectly fine. The unboxing experience was exactly how I expected a 300 euro device to be like. It is still surprisingly sturdy considering how much moving parts we have here. I love this sideways pointing lamp that is just held on by a magnet. I love that kind of stuff. And I think it's a great move from CZUR, whatever, to implement some sort of just general light into this so that the whole scanner has like a second purpose why it can stay on the table. For the software, I think it works great. I had a lot of fun actually scanning this whole thing for some freaking reason, and I think the OCR feature that the software brings along is really amazing and it works surprisingly well. For the export to a Word document, I think that's the most important feature about this thing and the whole reason why you need that, because let's say you are in office and you want to have just images, PDFs. That's okay, you can use your very slow scanner and you have the whole day and you can just scan all day long and you don't care. However, that does not have OCR. This does have OCR and that's amazing and it works surprisingly well, though you need to keep in mind that you need to straighten up the pages as far as you can, and if it dangles up like this, use these to push it down, otherwise you will get gibberish and you will not be able to use it as an actual document. For the rest, amazing device. I mean, it is going for $299, I believe, which is a very very good price, although it is still a scanner. And if you have a look at things like a Canon, HP or whatever you would buy for a home office situation, $299 for a scanner is nothing out of the ordinary. And looking at the amount of features, and I can make a Word document out of a book, that's not something that you will come by very often. So at this point I would like to thank CZUR for sending us over this scanner. We had a lot of fun scanning all of these books and just learning that something like this actually exists. And I do believe that these awards that the company got for these products, it is worth it. So that's from my part. And for you, if you want to keep watching, have a look at one of these videos. It's not a sophisticated scanner that I have never seen before, but still great videos. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.